Like I mentioned earlier on, you need to be careful of things like ready to use meal plans because what works for one person may not work for another person. And this is why you hear of cases where somebody is walking on the road and all of a sudden they faint. So somebody's doctor has prescribed something for them, or some online nutritionist or physical or face-to-face dietitian has prescribed something for somebody because of a medical condition. Take, for example, a typical example, a good example to use here would be maybe a keto diet or a keto plan. Now, this plan may have been formulated because of someone who suffers from epilepsy, PCOS, or diabetes, or you, that everything is functioning properly, or you who has maybe some sort of kidney disease, you decide to go and use this ready to use meal plan, and then you find that you have some sort of kidney damage or kidney failure just because you found a ready to use meal plan that they said is great for weight loss, you decide to endanger your health. So please, before you do any sort of meal plan or embark on a ready to use meal plan, first of all, find out and make sure that it is a plan that is suitable for you as an individual. We are all different, male, female, our lifestyles, everything in general. So find what works for you and stick to it as opposed to ready to use meal plans. So as opposed to ready to use meal plans, I'm happy to talk about ready to use guidelines or ready to use tips for weight loss. And ready to use tips for a healthier life or ready to use tips for weight loss would be rule number one: everybody knows that you must definitely not live a sedentary lifestyle. It is medically recommended for health reasons, weight loss or vanity aside, that you try to get active at least 2.5 hours per week. If you break that down, that's about 5 days per week. Now, 5 days per week of 30 minutes activity, activity in any form. If you like yoga, all well and good. If you like to swim, fine. If you have a treadmill, fine. If you have a nice looking estate that you can walk around, fine. If you don't live in an estate, all well and good. You can walk around your house. Take the staircase instead of the elevator. Just do something. There's no reason to live a sedentary lifestyle. Also, avoid junk. Avoid refined sources of food. Know your why. Like I mentioned earlier on, is this for health reasons? If it's for health reasons, then the less cheat meals you should have, because your goals are different from somebody who just needs to lose weight in general. Stay hydrated as best as you can. Now, hydration doesn't have to come from your cups of water alone. There are certain fruits and vegetables that actually have very high amounts of water. So take, for example, watermelon, your oranges, your cucumbers. They add to your water intake. Things like green tea. Green tea is fantastic. Weight loss and trying to boost your metabolism aside, it's anti-cancer, so, and it's anti-aging, so it's great for you in the long run. So try to incorporate herbal teas into your diet. Now, herbal teas doesn't mean that you should jump on the bandwagon, and herbal teas are different from slimming teas. Please read your labels. Know what is on the pack of whatever tea that you decide to drink. Some are good and some are bad. Find what works for you, make sure it's healthy for you, and stick to it. My final rule on this issue is incorporate as much fiber as you can into your diet. Fiber, the best way to get fiber is by incorporating vegetables into your diet, most especially. And also eat fruits. There's a reason why God created fruits. So before you decide to go on that diet that eliminates fruit in total because you hear that sugar is bad for you, the sugar in fruit is different from the sugar that you find in puff puff or donuts. The sugar in fruit, these are natural sources of sugar that are great for you in general. Now, while too much fruit may be bad, as with all things, even too much, there's such a thing as drinking too much water. It's called hyponatremia. So you need to eat according to your goals. There are low sugar fruits and there are high sugar fruits. Whatever it is, just make sure that you include them in your diet. Good sources of fruits and vegetables according to whatever your goals are. For eggs to raise your cholesterol levels, you must be eating a trailer load of eggs like every day. If you have existing cholesterol levels, then you may want to avoid or limit your egg consumption. But if you do not have already existing blood cholesterol issues, eating eggs on its own is not going to immediately cause some sort of high levels of cholesterol in the body. So it's a myth that eating eggs causes high levels of cholesterol, except you already have an existing condition that you know warrants or insists that you don't eat past a certain amount of eggs. There's nothing, it's a myth that eggs increase your cholesterol levels if you don't have existing issues already. Now, research, which is insufficient by the way, has shown that red meat causes cancer. And research, this same research by different scientists, have shown that eating white meat, things like chicken and fish, are less likely to cause cancer. I always say this, even too much of a good thing can be bad. So if you're a red meat eater, my advice to you is that, as with all things, just don't overdo it. Eat it in moderation. How much should you eat? I can't really tell you. But since research has shown that red meat causes cancer, it's better to be safe than sorry and eat more white sources of eat more white meat than red meat. So, and this is why most times I go for the chicken or the fish and not the meat every single day. But eating meat is not bad for you. It will be too much meat that is bad for you. So too much meat has been linked to bowel cancer, and processed meat in particular. So things like your ham and sausages, some are made from 100% protein these days. Otherwise, some are just made from toxic stuff, and these are have been linked to high levels of stomach cancer. So bowel and stomach cancer. Should you avoid red meat? My answer is no. What it is that it should be limited for sure.
That 5 minutes madness only you can understand. Visit myspector.com to get your Spectre experience. Spectre, loans in 5 minutes.
So, with reading nutrition labels, if you see a product, for example, this is unripe plantain flour. Yeah? Most times you have the nutrition labels at the back of most products. And I always tell people, the more ingredients you see at the back of a certain product, the more likely it is that that product is junk. And if you look at the back contents of a particular type of food, the first thing to look out for is the place that says ingredients. If you look at this one, ingredients, 100% unripe plantain. But there are some, you start seeing hydrogenated oil, dico something 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 something, red color 3, blue something something something. Those things are definitely not good for you. If you see an ingredient that you cannot pronounce or it does not look familiar in any shape or form, then there's a problem and it's not healthy. So weight loss wise, or if you want the odd treat here and there, then it's okay to have a bit of whatever that thing is. But if you're trying to stay focused on being a fit farm, the less ingredients that are in a product, the better for you. Which brings me back to trying to read a food label. It's always at the back. Now, this one is pretty simple because it says 100% unripe plantain flour. And the nutrition information are shown below. So under ingredients or beside it, most times you would see something that says nutritional information. So it may come in the form of, it will show you the amount of calories that are in a certain per gram. Now, this one is 132 calories. They didn't put the grams there, but because I'm into nutrition, I know that it's per 100 grams. And this is what most products do. So if you look at the back, even when you don't see nutritional information, most times usually 100 grams. So this one, for example, is 132 calories per 100 grams. Now, it's not enough to just focus on the quantity of the calories that you're eating, especially if you're on a weight loss or healthy lifestyle journey, because that will lead to frustration. 200 calories in a chocolate bar is different from 200 calories in juice or a smoothie or some sort of fruit or a piece of chicken. So which brings me back to the nutritional label. So you're looking out for the amount of carbohydrates in there. You're looking out for the amount of proteins in there. You should be looking out for the amount of fat. Does it have any fiber in there? The more fiber it has, the less likely you are to be satiated with eating whatever that thing is. Now, if it has more fiber, if you suffer from things like diabetes, your blood sugar levels will not just spike unnecessarily. So things with higher fiber content are great for you and generally for anyone on a weight loss journey. And that's why there's so much hype around, oh, brown rice. Brown rice is better than white rice. The reason why they say brown rice is better than white rice is not because brown rice is lower calorie. It is just because of the fiber content. So if you're a white rice lover like me, to make up for the lack of fiber in white rice, all you have to do is bulk up in the form of vegetables. Vegetables doesn't always have to be salad or stir fry. If it's bitter leaf, ugu leaf, eforiro, ewedu. It doesn't have to be sauteed vegetables or broccoli or mushrooms. It could be your local vegetables. In the north, they do a miyan zogale, which is made from moringa. Moringa is fantastic, by the way, story for another day. But yes, this is what you should be looking out for. How much vitamins does it have in there? Meaning, would this thing be beneficial to me in any shape or form? Now, when you see things that say fortified with, please run away, because the fortified that is fortified with is an artificial form of multivitamins. You're better off with natural sources. So see, this one, they don't have to write fortified with. It is there because it's a natural product made from unripe plantain. It is already written there. Vitamin A, vitamin C, potassium, all written out here. So this is what you should be looking out for. The minute I see a product, I just turn to the back immediately and I look out for what the product is made of. The nutritional information is always at the back and should always be read alongside the ingredients. Very important when you're reading food labels. I mean, every woman has certain levels of testosterone, but there's a problem when it's ridiculously high. And we're talking about foods to eat to lower testosterone. Sorry, this is a tongue twister. You want to increase your amount of healthy fat. So you need to focus on eating more sources of healthy fats, less junk. You want to add stuff like flax seeds into your diet. Flaxseed is not anything that's so fancy. If you look in every nook and cranny, in every supermarket or health store, be it in Nigeria or around the world, there's flax seeds everywhere. Another very common source of food which may help to lower your testosterone levels depending on the circumstance is soybeans. So soybeans is receiving so much negativity in the media for containing certain types of hormones that can, trigger an imbalance and all that. However, including some amount of soybeans can help to lower your testosterone levels. High levels of testosterone can lead to things like unwanted facial hair, mood swings, can lead to stuff like heightened symptoms of PCOS. And if you're trying to avoid that, then you want to stay focused on the tips that I just mentioned earlier on.